Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK.
And I'm Courtney.
And how are you, Courtney?
I'm okay. I'm making it. I am, if you're watching this, my hair is different. I cut it all off and I'm in the dark basically. So it's pink, but you can't tell. Um, it's lovely. Go look at another in a week, maybe look at my Instagram. Um, but I finally got it cut because Wednesday I'm finally doing my headshots for my business. And I'm very excited. My friend Haley Ballard, she does photography. I think she's HaleyBallard.com, and then maybe like HBD photography or something. Um, I'm so sorry. I think
If you send it to me, I can link it in the show notes.
okay. I'm so sorry. I just had this is for those of you wondering, is like a neck thing that you put on and it has like an air conditioner in it. And so when you turn it on, it blows air and all I could just hear air blowing. And I was like, what is happening? It's fine. Everything's fine. So yes, I will send it to you and we can link it in the bio because she's incredible. She shot for Vogue. She shot Jesse Metcalf. Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's just like amazing. She does weddings, everything. She does everything. But yeah, so I got my hair cut and colored, and all it cost me was a pizza, which
Nice.
was lovely. And I went shopping at Macy's today, which we're not going to talk about, but I got a couple
No.
outfits that are okay, a couple blazers that I may or may not ever wear or ever wear again if I do wear them for the photo shoot. So I don't know. I'm just kind of like living by faith at the moment. Um, yeah, I feel like there was something else I was going to say.
No.
I don't know. Anyways, that's me. That's how I'm doing, vaguely. How are you?
I have never felt an April more April-y in terms of the weather and how much literally as a collective, none of the teachers want to be at school anymore. Like, I mean, April is pretty rough with that because March is just a long month and then you finally get spring break and then it feels like you're back and like nothing has changed. And so like April's rough, March is rough, May is rough. June's a little bit better because you're like, thank God.
No, it's hot. June's worse.
No, I don't mind the hot.
I do. I hate it every time.
I know you do. I
Mad
like heat.
September.
Honestly, I'm mad that I don't have socks on right now because it's fucking cold in
Ugh,
my office.
look at mine.
Um, but um, but today was a Monday, and
Mhm.
the weather has been absolutely fucked today. This morning, it was a cold, like it was chilly, but it was sunny. And then about noon, it was a torrential downpour. Only we realized it was actually hailing, not raining. Then it was snowing. Then it was raining again. And then I'm outside at dismissal, standing outside talking to parents, and it starts hailing again.
That is wild. Is it like heat hailing or is it like 20 degrees?
No, it's like 35, 40 degrees. It's like 45 degrees and full on hailing.
Hmm. It was cold,
Um,
but then I was like in a t-shirt by the time I came home.
but so the day has just been weird. We got a new printer copier beautiful machine at the office that is not set up correctly yet, so no one's been able to print any resources for like 3 days. It's just like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. So
Lovely.
then at the end of the day, I'm in the office talking to the secretary and our IT guy about all the things that are going wrong with the printer when a man shows up with a pizza order. It's 2:45. School is over. All of the children have gone home. There is exactly one after school program on Mondays. We're all very confused. So everybody's just kind of looking, and I was like, "Can I see that receipt?" Like I'm trying to help this man figure out what to do with this pizza. And I look at the receipt, and he's also already confused because the address on the pay for and the address on the deliver are not the same. So he's not even 100% sure he's where he's supposed to be. So I take the receipt and I look at it, and the address is our school, The name is Doug, but the phone number is Dan's, and the paid for is the school Dan currently works at. So this poor man is trying to call the number on the receipt, which is not picking up because Dan is still in class teaching. And I just looked at it and I looked at him. I go, I am so sorry. That is my husband's phone number. Let me take care of this. So I call upstairs to Teresa and Maria and I go, hey, did you guys order a pizza for NJHS? Because I know Dan's number used to be on the NJHS account because he was the moderator before he left. And that is the only way that I could think that it belongs here. So
Yeah.
so Teresa was like, no, we did not order a pizza. I go, okay, great. So I text him. I go, hey, this is what is happening. But then I also, without waiting for his response, because like I said, he is still teaching and he's an idiot. I looked at the pizza. I looked at the pizza man. I go, I'm going to be honest with you. He called and ordered a pizza. The school that this address here is for paid for it. But because he gave them his phone number and he's already in the system, it put the last address he had in the system there, which is this because he's apparently not ordered pizza with his own personal number since he changed schools. And he goes, okay, so this is the address I need to go to. I was like, yes. He called his store, verified that logic made sense, and then he left. So then Dan finally gets out of work half hour later, and he texted me like, oh my God, what? Like, and he goes, that is crazy, but don't worry, it's fixed. I go, yes, I know it's fixed because I fixed it. And I have now decided that that gives me the rights to call him a special kind of stupid for at least a good month because
Oh
that
my gosh, at least.
if I had not been in the office and it had just been the poor secretary who has never met him and the IT man who can't even figure out why his Linux system computer doesn't download things the same way my Windows does.
Being the IT man, bless his
Correct.
heart. Okay.
I have feelings about him as a human that I don't share in public. But
Yeah,
um
sure.
yeah, if I had not been the one in the office, that pizza never would have made it where it needed to be.
No.
If I did not have his phone, and if I did not have his phone number memorized and know that that name and phone number did not go together, when
I
I tell you that this is the level of chaos that I am destined to be stuck with for the rest of my life.
I love it. I'm here to support it. I can't wait. Um, I did
Yeah.
remember the other thing I was going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
I know this is out of order now, and I'm sorry to the world.
Oh,
Um, I saw Kimberly Akimbo on Friday, and it was
very nice.
so good. And I remembered
Very
that
nice.
I picked up my mug to drink out of it. Don't be fooled.
Uh,
This is not coffee. It is absolutely wine. But I
Perfect.
picked my mug to drink out of it. And I was like, oh, Kimberly Akimbo. That's what I was going to talk about.
There was something good in my life.
There was something good in my life. But it's original musical on Broadway. People are saying it's going to win the Tony this year for best original
Interesting.
musical, and can't say they're wrong. I mean, it's really good. It's really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I've been,
That's a bold prediction with some of the stuff that's been out this season, though.
but like original stuff that's out, because you look at like Anne Juliet is technically an original, but it's all music that's like
Yeah,
Backstreet Boys.
but that's still going to be considered a best original, like the best new musical. It might not
Right,
win.
but that's what I'm saying is like while it might be a really great musical, if you're voting for the Tony, whoever's like voting for it or whatever, I think they'd go for something that has original music in it as opposed to
You
original.
would think, you would think, but sometimes that's not true. Because I mean, like Moulin Rouge, nothing in Moulin Rouge is original.
That's true. I do love Moulin Rouge, so it's a great
No,
show.
and sometimes jukeboxes that are done well
Mhm. Which I've already
are
think it is. I just haven't seen it yet.
no, and I've heard fantastic things about it. But like think about, I mean, think about how many of the really well respected shows in the last 5, 10 years have been jukeboxes. Like Jagged Little Pill is not
Yeah.
original music. Um, Girl from the North Country is not original music. MJ is not. Tina is not. Um, uh, what's it called? Um, Ain't no Mo- what is
No, Ain't No Mo is not a musical.
no, that's not the
Oh,
word.
Satisfy. Ain't
Ain't Too Proud.
Ain't Too Proud. That's so
I was like, I
where did
know
that come
these
from?
words. I don't know. I was like, I know these words and I know that that's wrong, but like
Yeah.
all of these things are not original music, but the show and the story is original.
Yeah. I think it's
So,
being predicted to go up against New York, New York, which I haven't seen it either.
okay.
Um, I
Which
don't know.
isn't, but New York is not a new musical, isn't it a revival?
I think it's a new one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Now that you say that, I'm questioning everything I've ever known. I mean, Bad Cinderella's in that category, but it's not going to win.
No.
Um, I don't think it'll even be nominated. But, and not that it's terrible, it's just not where it's at.
Right. Um,
But
yeah, I'm
now I'm
pretty
thinking
sure.
about like every musical that's out, and I think I've seen one of them lately.
Yeah. No, a New York, I'm pretty sure is a revival. But
Hmm. I don't know.
yeah. Oh no. Okay. No, it's not.
Well, there's 1990, a 1977 one.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the website for the musical, and it is based loosely on the 1977 Scorsese film,
It's a movie, yeah.
using some of the Kander and Ebb music that is from the movie. So basically, it's a movie musical that was never on stage that has now been put on stage, but with new music added.
Same thing for Some Like It Hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Some Like It
So,
Hot, they've changed this. Yeah, I guess this one they've changed the story too. So
yeah,
that's I
I don't
don't
know much about Some Like It Hot. I haven't seen either of them. Um,
I haven't seen Some Like It Hot, but Rachel did, and it was really good.
yeah, Noelle loved it. She said it was great.
Yeah.
She's like, we have to talk about it because our
Um,
podcast just launched today when we're recording this first episode.
yes.
Just to throw it out
Yes.
there. I'll talk more about that maybe next episode. But
But that's the one my friend who moved back to New York to do hair, that's the show he's on.
New York, New York.
No, Some Like It Hot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Dancing. Forgot about Dancing. That'll probably be in. That's the Bob
Mm,
Fosse one.
oh yeah. I don't know.
You
I
know,
don't I
people
feel
are
like
good on.
I feel like I could have told you every single thing that was going to happen in the Tonys in 2020 if there had been Tonys in 2020, but like this year I couldn't tell you shit.
Yeah. I'm I've only this is the only musical new musical I've seen now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I gotta get
Well,
back
no,
to more musicals.
you saw Bad Cinderella, you just didn't like
Oh,
it.
I did see Bad Cinderella. But most of the other stuff I've been seeing as plays, and I'm ready. I need
Yeah.
some music in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guess it's just growing.
I don't see anything new because I don't live in New York. I just see it when it's on tour.
Also, did you see Six this week, or is that next week?
N Well, when we're recording this, no, when it's released, yes, I see it 2 days from now.
So, fun fact for you: did you listen to the music and like it? Is that
Oh,
what we
sick.
talked about? Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I listen to the music. I like it a lot. I just have problems with it that I haven't figured out if I'm going to like the show or not because I am a huge history buff and I find
Right.
some of the portrayals of the women to be historically
Well,
vulgarly inaccurate.
I may have had a fever dream about you and told an entire story that never happened on my other podcast about you. So,
Oh,
I was editing it, and then last week you talked about you were finally getting to see Six, and I was like, I thought she already saw Six. Thought we already talked. Like I have a whole story about you.
I can't wait to listen to it.
May or may not be true, or may or may not
Fantastic.
happen. So,
Fantastic. Yeah, no, I have mixed feelings because of the historical inaccuracies. Um like the idea that Anne Boleyn did not actually like politics and was just trying to flirt her way to the top is vilely untrue.
so there's there's some stuff like that that they like did convenience, but they do actually stay to the history pretty solid when you like see the
No,
show.
the history itself, yes, but some of the portrayals of the women's personal feelings towards the history
Oh yeah,
feel very, and a part of it it's because I'm like a massive Anne Boleyn fangirl and I know everything about
because
her and I've
So was Noelle. Noelle, not necessarily Anne Boleyn, but she's like a King Henry VIII's like wives, like that
Oh,
time period. Huge
yeah.
fan, which
Yeah,
is why
yeah,
we
yeah.
get so
Yeah, I'm obsessed. Um, but you know what else I'm obsessed with?
your spirituality.
Spirituality and joy, because I don't have a lot of it in my life.
I feel that, and maybe this will bring us back together and keep.
Beautiful.
Uh, eventually, all pieces fall into place. Until then, laugh at the confusion, live for the moment, and know that everything happens for a reason.
That is exactly what we both need today.
That
So
is
much.
what I've been telling myself for 6 days. So,
Yeah. Um, well, you know what can make everyone's day a little brighter?
Stargate? Is it Stargate?
It is Stargate. It
Oh,
is Star. It
you're not wrong.
makes my day brighter. There's also quite a few Death and Aliens connections happening in this episode of Stargate that I can't wait to talk about. So
I'm so stoked. I took like more notes than I normally do.
fantastic.
Like for
I took less notes than I normally do, but it's because there was a lot of things that just like the scenes ran together in a way where I didn't feel like I had to write this cut to this cut to this
Oh yeah,
cut to this cut.
no, mine are generic thoughts. Mine are not about them.
Oh
So,
yeah, no. No, my same. The your notes for Stargate probably look vaguely like my notes for
Horror
American Horror
Story.
Story. Yeah. But so this episode of Stargate SG-1 is season 3, episode 13, The Devil You Know. It's rated 8
The
stars.
most apt title.
Correct. So it was rated 8.0 stars, which is the exact same as last week. It came out on October 29th, 1999. What was that?
I was going to give you a spoiler alert that our American Horror Story was also rated 8.0 out of 10 this week.
Fantastic. I hate the number 8, so I can't even pretend that it's like a lucky number or something, but I don't know why. I only like even numbers except for the number 8. I hate it. And I have not been
Very
able to figure out my entire life. It's been a weird like
It's the 8
OCD.
original sins that are now the 7 deadly sins. They used to be 8 deadly sins. I learned that and that's why we drink this week.
Huh. Weird.
That's probably in your subconscious.
Maybe. The number one song on October 29th, 1999, when I was just a wee 7.5 years old, was a song that we have weirdly talked about on this podcast before. Because the number one song was Smooth by Santana and Rob Thomas.
Love, love. I love.
Yes.
I have
Um,
so many Santana connections now in my life.
I love it. My sister used to be absolutely obsessed with Rob Thomas.
Well, I am
Obsessed.
obsessed with the Santana's PR guy. We're besties.
Oh, very nice. Um, the number one book was still Harry Potter 3.
Sure, as it should be.
The
To be
number,
fair, though, that was also my favorite Harry Potter book for a very long time. So, like, it should have
yeah,
been there.
I think it was my favorite until the sixth came out.
I mean,
And then,
I had a Goblet of Fire binge for a bit where I was like, this is the only book I've ever liked. But then I kind of flipped back to Prisoner of Azkaban upon a reread.
yeah, no, I think, yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban is a really good one. I also really, really loved 6 and 7, but I think if I had to pick a favorite, it would be 6, but 3 would be very closely followed.
Um, it depends on the day. Ask me tomorrow and I'll
Fair,
tell you. So,
fair. The number one movie was a horror movie because obviously it is the weekend, the Halloween weekend. It is October 29th, so it's Halloween weekend. It is a movie I have not seen.
have I seen it?
I don't know.
Okay.
But it stars Famke Janssen. Um, The House on Haunted Hill.
No, I haven't seen it, but I want to see
Yes. And our girl Famke's in it. So like I was like,
it.
oh,
Love
perfect.
her in a horror film. Last time we saw her in
Yes.
Hide and Seek.
Yeah, that's true. Um, on that day, one of the deadliest and most intense cyclones to ever hit northern India happened and killed like 900 people or something.
Jesus.
So that's not great.
I was gonna say, why didn't I hear about this? I was 7. That's why I didn't hear about it.
Correct. Yeah. Um, Also on that day, a new book came out, and my favorite was the article that I found about this book coming out was like, let's take a break from all the J.K. Rowling talk because, Harry Potter was a big deal that year to talk about the other two-initialed author that all kids know because R.L. Stein published his first
Wait,
R.L. Stein published his first ever hardcover novel, like not Goosebumps novel, Nightmare, that came out this day.
I still haven't read the Nightmare series. Have you read it?
No,
Oh, it's on my
yeah.
list. I know it's like I think it was written like for teens. It was meant to be right above Goosebumps, but
Yeah.
still.
I read a couple of his teenage
Fear Street?
hey Fear Street. I've read a couple of the
Teenage
Fear
Book
Street
One.
ones, but this one is Nightmare was supposed to be like it was still aimed towards young people, but it was
17, not like
yeah, it was like actual scary, not Goosebumps scary. But I've never read it.
I need to put that on my list. Let's put that on my
Yeah.
list.
All right.
I love R.L. Stein. Like I reread the first like 10 Goosebump books 2 years ago. Just love
One of my students is obsessed with R.L. Stein, and like for her biography project earlier this year, she wrote her biography about R.L. Stein, and it was also the only one that was actually like a legitimate, proper, well done biography because she's like that obsessed with him. And I was like, good for you. This episode was directed by Peter DeLuise. It was written by Robert C. Cooper, the original creator of the show.
I was gonna say we've heard that name, but not in a minute. Yeah.
Not in a minute. Yeah, it's been a while. Editing was done by Brad Rines.
Ooh,
And
we
then
right? Or is
no,
it?
we have. He did last week. Or
Oh,
he's one of the newest one that we've introduced for the editors.
maybe it's because it sounds too close to Brad, right?
That's exactly what you said last time I said his name. Yep.
Oh yeah, there we go. See, there we go.
Um, the guests that we're going to talk about, there was a few that I could have picked from for this episode because there was quite a few like bit party characters. But the guest that we're going to talk about is Aldwin, who was the Tok'ra who was with Tilk in this episode. And Aldwin is known, well, no, that's not his real name. That's his character's name. His real name is William DeVry.
I've heard that name.
You have heard that name. We'll get there. You've heard that name for a few reasons, actually. Um, so he's best known for Quantum Leap, NCIS LA, Insecurity, and Beauty and the Beast.
I looked up
The
Quantum Leap like yesterday. Okay.
um, the reason you have heard his name is because his most important to me role, at least, was his role as Chin of Neck and Chin, the police officers in Hemlock Grove.
Chin.
Yeah. But the reason the rest of the world has also heard his name is because his great grandfather founded DeVry Institute, now known as DeVry University.
Yes, okay. That tracks. Everything makes sense.
Yes. I was like, no, 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 we'll get there. I promise. You.
I was like, surely I know that name. Yeah.
Yes, DeVry University, his great grandfather founded that school. So everybody knows his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's one of those guys who's been in a little bit of everything, a couple episodes here, a couple episodes there. I think the most was that in the show Insecurity, which is the only one of those four I don't know anything about. He had 23 episodes. But yeah, but he had 4 episodes in Hemlock Grove and he was Chin. So, and I remember the police officers in the first 2 episodes were so big that I thought they were going to end up being a much bigger deal in the show than they actually were.
Oh, in
But I
Hemlock
was
Grove.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
was like vaguely obsessed with Neck and Chin for a while because
I recall. I'm
because
familiar.
I could not believe that those were their names.
Oh, I'm guessing they're not their actual names. I think they're nicknames.
Yes, but they don't have any other names in
Oh,
the
yeah, no.
credits. Yeah. Yeah, they have no other names in the credits. And as far as I could find in the book either. Like their names are just
Forget about the book. I'm going to read it.
one day. Yeah, one day I'll get there. Not today.
I bought it.
Did you?
I did. I bought it. I have it. I just haven't read it.
Yeah,
I've had it for like 2.5 years.
that's more than I did. So, well, we start this episode as any good second episode of a two-parter with a previously on showing us bits of last week's episode. Um, And then when we get to the actual start of the episode, Apophis tells the SG team that he saw them and knew that they would be his ticket out of Natu, and he is so ready to blow this fucking popsicle stand. And then Daniel says what might be the best line of Daniel Jackson's life ever, where he says, "I'm sorry to tell you that your mate Aminette is dead." Actually, I'm just kidding. I'm not sorry.
I know, I was like, okay, Daniel Jackson, we're getting petty.
It was petty, but it was also said so dryly and like without
It's
any emotion
true.
that I was like, all
Yeah.
right, all right. But Apophis is like, I don't believe you. And he's like, okay, well, why would I lie about that? And then obviously, like, genuinely, why would he lie about that? That's also his wife. So y'all
True.
share a wife. Um, and he's like, well, if she really is dead, then Teal'c must be the one to have done it. And they're like, well, you got us on that one.
Good logic there. Apophis, risen from the dead.
So, the guards take the communication device from Daniel because they're like, he was hiding this, which was really random. And also, Daniel was apparently really bad at hiding things.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and
that's not shocking at all. That's the least shocking thing I've heard ever.
and then so um Apophis takes it and tells Teal'c that he's going to kill all of Teal'c's friends and save him for last and make him suffer even more than what he does to all of the rest of the SG team. And then is like, all right, cool, back to the pit. What was that?
That was always the plan, though. Like,
Right. Apophis, if Apophis is in charge of anything, Teal'c's dying last and painfully. Like that's not
because he was just
um
first in command. What do they call it? Is it first prime? Did I say that right?
yeah, first prime.
Okay.
Um so they send him back to the pit and he names one of the guards as his new first prime. Fun fact, I could not tell you for a fucking second what that guy's name is. No
I
idea.
don't know. They said it. Surely they did.
Surely they did, and he must have a name in the credits, but once I chose to look up Aldwin, I promptly forgot everyone else's name.
Yeah. Fair.
Um, Back in the pit, Martouf gets all fucking high and mighty and says some "I told you so" shit about. He's like, "I didn't I say that when you sent Apophis back through the sarcophagus or through the gate, they would just use the sarcophagus and bring him back to life to torture him?" Yeah, you did, but now's not the fucking time, Martouf.
I also said that to be fair. So, so I also told you so. But
But like, would you then say that in that moment when you're all trapped in the pit and gonna die?
yeah, I wait till we were all saved, and that very last moment of this episode is when I would say it.
Yeah, no, for sure. So again, correct, but not the time.
Right.
Um, and Martouf also says that he is confident that Apophis is going to sell them and their information to Sokar for his freedom. Which, be fair, between the four of them, that's a lot of fucking information.
Yeah, for sure. Especially having memories. Like,
Right. So you've got Sam having Jolinar's memories plus all of the information about being the one who fucking, I don't know, did all the science and military shit to make the Stargate program work.
right.
You have Jack, who is the only person we know of who's ever had the ancients like information downloaded into his brain. And we don't know shit about the ancients, but that's kind of a big deal. Um, we have Daniel, who may or may not be the secret to finding the Heresis baby.
Or the secret to knowing everything about all of the different what are the system lords because they're all Greek gods.
Right. And then you have Martouf, who has all of the information of the Tok'ra. Like, that is a lot. That's a pretty
I'd pay for
penny.
that if I
Right.
was Sokar, for sure.
Um Then we hear Apophis standing in the center of hell yelling at everyone that he's going to raise up an army against Sokar. So, like, probably not the way I would have gone about that.
But a little more discreet.
Yeah. Like, I would have, like, whispered some things,
Right.
gotten some
Passed a note,
secret.
but like a note that
Right.
put itself up as soon as you passed it, so that like
Right.
or invisible
Like,
ink. Oh my God, all of our 1990 spy kits are coming out because this is the time. This is
this
the
is
time.
the time. Um, then we go up to Sokar's ship, and the captain is telling Stokar that Teal'c's ship was there. He doesn't know it's Teal'c's ship, but he saw the Teal'c's ship, and he's enter hyperspace, and they lost it when it entered hyperspace. So Stokar's like, okay, cool beans, probably a spy. We're gonna step up and we're gonna move the whole thing forward. And 2 days from now, we're taking out all the system lords. And the captain is like, I don't want, I can't. He's like, 2 days. And he's like, all right, guess I'm getting everybody ready in 2 days.
This is what we're doing now.
Um, then we go back down to the moon, and Apophyse's first prime tells him that 300 people are following him and that the rest have been banished to the surface.
Yeah.
That feels like a fairly large number of banishments just based on the number of people that I feel like have been damned to this moon planet. So,
Doesn't it?
also, 300 feels like a very small number to defeat an army that's about to take out all of the system lords in the whole galaxy.
Yeah, I feel like you need more than that. Like minimum 3,000.
Right. Um,
Also, in 300,
that's
the movie
true.
I've never seen, I assume they had 300 people.
Yeah, I
Take out a whole
I
system.
think that the number 300 probably does in fact come from the number of people that they had. That's the one with Spartacus, right?
Right, and they took out all the system lords with 300 people.
Or Sparta. No,
Yeah,
this is Sparta.
that's
That's the one,
Sparta.
right? Yeah, I don't fucking I've also never seen it. So, I don't know.
And you have to agree with me that I'm right, because that's how it goes.
Yeah, sure.
People who took out the system lords, that's what 300 is about.
Yes.
It is the remake of Stargate.
Got it.
Yeah.
Does that make who is that in that movie? Is that Gerard Butler
Yeah.
in that movie? Gerard Butler is what, a beefy Daniel Jackson?
It's his son.
Yes. He is the Harisis baby.
He's the Reese's baby. That's exactly what it is.
Daniel Jackson's son at all. I don't know.
Well, that's why he got away with 300 people only.
We are unhinged, clearly. So sorry.
Sorry.
When he then the Apophysis first prime also goes, here is the only thing that we found on their persons when we searched the Stargate people. Here is the ear hair trimmer, which that's not what it is, but that is exactly what it is. In the first episode that we saw it, it was in the trivia, and ever since then, it's been like the only trivia in every episode is that the memory thing is actually just in like a ear hair trimmer thing.
They would have been better off using the screwdriver, like Doctor Who, or calling it what it was. Like Doctor Who's like, this is a screwdriver.
Yeah, they're like, here is this memory triggering device. Just kidding, it's an ear hair trimmer that we stick in a piece
Only
of
Men in Black
plastic.
had been out by then.
What's that?
Only Men in Black had been out by then. They would have a much better memory device.
When did Men in Black come out?
One, I think.
Huh.
It's still early
Somehow that
2000s.
somehow that feels like it was older than that. Like I believe you, but I just also
Early 2000s. It does feel like ages ago, but I
yeah.
like, you know,
It's one of those things where like I just assume, oh no, 1997. I was right.
well, they missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity because the original Men in Black was already out, so they should have borrowed their memory device, clearly.
Absolutely.
Um so the first prime, so he sees the ear hair trimmer and immediately is like sending the girl.
Yeah.
because he just assumes that that is the person who already has the device on their head. Which, to be fair, he knows that she couldn't have known anything about Bynар without Jolinar's memories, so like that has to be like he's not dumb. Um, so he calls Sam, and when the first prime gets Sam, he also shoots Jack for some reason.
Just
Just casually. Um, and Apophis uses the device on Sam, and we get more Teen Sam dead mom flashbacks.
so I don't really understand why we're having all of these like flashbacks. Like it's sad, and I guess it's meant to build up like emotion for the episode, but I feel like it's not enough to get me.
Well, no, what happens is they're finding memories of moments that they regret.
Right. I
So that,
understand.
yeah, yeah. Well, but okay, when we first started with the dead mom thing, it only worked because it was the memory we had already seen in the last episode. So we know that was like fresh in her mind of like things that made her sad. And then the other memories that we get after that only work because we already know what they did to Sam's memory. Like it tracks that that's then what would follow. It could have been done better, but I
I
don't
mean, I
think it
like
was.
what the idea of what they did with it, how it worked.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of felt it felt out of place starting out with that, and like especially like starting out the first episode, like part one with that or whatever.
Think if there had been more conversation about why Sam was feeling that way, it would have made better sense. Because I got it, but
Well, I got it. I don't know. It's just like I don't know why we're doing this right now. And like by like halfway through this episode, like I was like, oh, okay, I see. I get it.
yeah.
But
Um, he also makes Sam drink something that looks horrible and gross. That is apparently called the blood of Sokar.
is it not just the blood of Sokar?
It is not.
Sure thought it was.
Martouf explains what it is when she goes to the pit and talks to him about it. It surely looks like it is actually just blood, but it's not. Thank God, because yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this episode is getting very intense, like traumatic, and
I mean, to be fair, what it actually is when we get there is pretty fucking traumatic as well. Like, um, so in the flashback, we do find out some important things that are important character-wise that are not necessarily important to the plot, but we do finally find out what caused the rift between Jacob and Sam's brother.
yes.
So, that whole thing, apparently Jacob was working late and missed picking up their mom, and then she died in a car accident with the taxi that she took because he didn't get there. So Sam and her brother blamed their dad for that. Sam forgave him. Her brother did not.
Yeah, at this point, like before I like figured out what was going on, I thought that we were just trying to like first of all, I was like, okay, so her dad's definitely gonna die. And so we're seeing all these regrets she's having of like not making up with him earlier because of this.
Yeah.
So then that's when I started being like, okay, this makes sense. And then it also was completely not what they were going for.
Yeah.
But
Because then we start to see Sam realize that the memory doesn't make sense and that she should not be as old in that memory as she is, and that
right.
she'd already had this conversation. Like things were just off about the memory. She figures out it's wrong. And she doesn't understand why she's stuck in it. And he's like repeating the same things over and over again. So like it can't be real. And then her dad morphs into Apophis, who is yelling at her to give him the iris codes. And I was like,
I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing.
yeah, no, 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 no. It's like, it reminds me of, God, in Harry Potter when like Snape and Harry were doing that,
Oh,
like the
this is the guy.
legilimency,
The what? What?
legilimency.
No, no, no. It's a. It,
No,
fine.
no, it starts with an L. It is. I don't know if I'm pronouncing
Like,
it correctly.
I think it's something else. Hmm.
Occlumency
Occlumency, that's what I was thinking. It's
is
no.
they're the two sides of the coin. Like legitimacy is the going into the brain,
Right.
occlumency is the shielding.
Right.
But yeah, so it reminded me of like Snape fucking around with Harry's memories and shit. Um, it also reminded me of something else that I can't think of right now that like was freaky and I don't know what.
Doing
What?
it. Is it Voldemort doing the same thing?
No, no, like I'm thinking of like a scene from a horror movie of like something like twisting and turning like that of like people changing into not who they were, but I can't think of what
Hmm.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
But it's
sure.
fucking creepy either way. Um, then we get a quick flash to Teal'c. He's returned to the Tok'ra planet to tell them about Sokar's plan and Apophis's return and ask for help in rescuing the rest of the team. And Aldwin is like, I will go talk to the Tok'ra High Council, but I promise you nothing. Because, you know, the Tok'ra doesn't make any individual decisions by themselves unless it's Martuf or Jacob running off doing something that they really should not be doing. Um,
Whatnot.
Yeah. Then we go back to Natu, where Jack has now been brought to Apophis, and Apophis is like, your friend told me it was very enlightening. She told me everything. And Jack's like, no, the fuck she didn't.
He's like, absolutely, she did not.
She did not. And also, fun fact, I will not either. So then he hooks Jack up to the memory thing and gives him some of I wrote some of the Veritas serum because I forgot what it was called.
Basically, that's basically what
Basically.
it is.
Yeah. Then we get a flash to Sam wakes up in the pit and she tells them like what happened and she drank the blood of Sokar and she didn't give anything up. And Martuf is like, oh yeah, the blood of Sokar, it's just a very, very powerful narcotic that forces you to hallucinate things.
See, I think I missed that explanation.
Yeah, no, so it's not actually blood, it's just like intense drugs.
Like Veritaserum.
Yeah, exactly. It's like mixing heroin and Veritaserum together.
Yeah, that sounds insane. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine.
No, no. I couldn't imagine taking one of those things, let alone a combination.
My mom was asking me about, she was trying to explain to me there's some like synthetic drug that people are buying and it's a gummy she like, but she brought it up and she was like, oh yeah, all those gummies the kids have that have drugs in them. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Mom. And she like kept going. And then I was like, Mom, you are really talking to the wrong person. I was like, I understand that this might be common in your world, seemingly, but I have no idea what you're talking about. And she's just like, yeah, it's everywhere. They're doing the gummy stuff. They go buy it and it's got drugs in it. And I was like,
Is she
hey,
talking about like CBD?
no, because that's what she was like, CBT. And I was like, no, CBT doesn't make you high. Like, because she was like, they were getting really like high off of it and stuff. And it
Well, I
had
mean,
like
there
THC and
are gummy like THC gummies, but like
right. I think that must be what she's talking about. But she said there's some
yeah.
thing. And I was like, yes, my new thing is this box of wine I got. I don't know like what to tell you about these gummy candies that get people high. I'm unfamiliar. I got some berry gummies that don't have drugs in them from
I have
Universal.
I have I have vitamins that are gummies that taste that are use beet sugar to have flavor, so they make my breath taste like beets. And Dan will always be like, if I like take them in the morning, he'll always be like, "Oh, you had your beets." Like, yes, I did. My breath smells horrible. I'm so sorry. Like, if I have them before I brush my teeth, that's fine. If I have them after I brush my teeth and before I drink coffee, until I get to start drinking coffee, my breath smells like beets. It's like hardcore.
Hate that. Hate that. Not a fan.
Um, so then, um, Jacob is like, by the way, I'm dying. And Sam's like, no, you're not. You can't be. Everything sucks. And Martouf's like, it's okay, we'll get through this. And she's like, yeah, you, by the way, you. And he's like, what? She's like, I know you're mad that Joel and I did what she had to do to get out of here. Don't let that make you tell Apophis what he asks you. And he's like, I would never.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't fucking believe you because you've acted like a bitch baby about everything you found out about her so far.
Truly. And he even said, like, don't worry about my feelings. We just have to get out of here. Everything has to be fine. And then he was not fine any of those times.
Yeah.
Nothing was fine.
Um, so then Jack's memory, that he's been aggressively shoved back into is a memory of him trying to play catch with Charlie. And then Charlie in the dream, like memory is all distorted by Apophis, but little Charlie's like, this isn't even what happened. You're just trying to change the memory to make it less sad. And I was like,
I was like, that's so sad. It's like he's given him a second chance. It's kind of like when we had that other episode where Daniel Jackson's parents died
yeah.
over and over. That's what it felt like.
And then he's like, so just tell me about like the Asgard and the ancients and all the stuff. Like, that's really cool. You could be a cool dad again. And he's like, you don't know these things. You were dead before I knew these things, which means you don't know these things.
Also, the like effects they're using to like repeat and glitch these episodes, I was like, there's got to be better glitch effects out there. I was like, I get it and I appreciate it, but there have to
99.
be glitch effects out there.
Sure, but 99 television budget. Like, that's.
I know. But Men in Black came
And
out before this, and they had good.
yes, but they were a movie. Movie budgets and the television budgets in the 90s were different worlds. It is only in the last like 5 years that TV gets movie budgets.
Oh no, they still don't get movie budgets.
No, but I mean, like some TV shows have really, really high budgets,
They have higher budgets, yeah, than they used to.
but
Well, I'll give them
not
another $10.
right.
To get better glitch effects.
Also, remember the set that they built for these two episodes cost almost as much as the entire movie, so they didn't have any budget left for effects.
True. Fair.
They were like, let's build hell and then have no more money.
So they just cut and pasted.
Yeah.
Like I could do that for free.
Well, but would you?
I mean, absolutely not. But like these people clearly did. But like,
then we go back to Teal'c and the Tok'ra have given Aldwin a weapon that they are going to destroy the entire planet in order to destroy Sokar. And Teal'c's like, okay, I guess I'll go with you. I promise not to get in the way of your plan, but also, LOL, JK, I'm absolutely going to get in the way of your plan. I'm going to rescue my friends. Sorry, not sorry.
and I don't know if that's when I wrote that device looks terrifying. I wonder if did that device look terrifying?
It did. We didn't really see it yet. What's that?
Or is it the next device in the Martouf scene?
I don't know. No, it definitely is that device. I feel like we didn't really see it well. We just talked about what it was and saw weird glowing coming out of the box. But yes, it was probably, yeah. Then they send Jack back to the pit and take Martouf, which is very nerve-wracking. And then we immediately leave that scene. Yeah. And then we go back to Teal'c, who makes the compromise that if Sokar is not yet in orbit of the moon, they will go in and rescue the team. If he is, they just got to drop it. And he's like, of course, Teal'c is still trying to figure out ways to not drop this weapon, but like, he's got to do what he's got to do.
He understands how it works.
Yeah. And then Apophis brings Sam in to the room while he's doing his weird memory attacking of Martouf, and he is picturing her as Jolinar. And they're like, if you don't tell us where the Tok'ra like resistance camp is, we're gonna kill her. And she's like, don't do it. And he's like, I can't let them hurt you. She's like, I'm not even Jolinar, don't do it. And he's like, I can't. And he caves and tells Apophis where the resistance camp is.
I was like, of all the people.
We just fucking talked about this.
Right.
Then we go back quickly up to Sokar's spaceship when we find out all the ships are ready, and Sokar is going to check on Bynarr first before he goes, because Bynarr never checked in with him. But then once he's done with that, he will be ready to go kill everyone.
I also like, when I was thinking like, who would I put my bet on to like give it up? I really thought Daniel Jackson, like using the Jack look-alike. Like that that one kind of like got me. I was like, I could see him being the one to be like
I,
he was talking to Jack 'cause that is a normal everyday thing for him. It wasn't like out of character.
yeah, yeah. Well, and so then, yeah, but we'll get there. We haven't gotten to Daniel's attack yet,
Oh, I
but
thought it happened before Martooth. My bad.
no, they took Daniel last.
Mm-hmm.
So then when they've taken Daniel and everyone else is back in the pit, Martouf tells Sam that he lied about the Toker camp, and he said she was like, "Damn, you said it so convincingly, even I believed you." And he's like, "Yeah, that planet's so fucking primitive, we would not be there."
Yeah.
Um, but then we go to Daniel Jackson's memory, and Daniel Jackson is remembering a conversation with Jack about trying to find the Horesis baby. But Daniel recognizes that it's not Jack. And there's a really clear way that we knew it wasn't. And it was because Jack referred to Share as Amunet instead of Share. And then Daniel was like, I see what you did there. And you done fucked up.
Yep.
Um, so he knows it's not real and he also resists. Um, then Sokar goes to talk to Bynarr, and Apophis is like, LLJK, I killed him and I'm in charge now. And Sokar's like, the actual fuck. He's like, but I have information and I would like an audience with you to share this information. So Sokar grants him that much. And turns out he has sneaky knives hidden in his sleeves because he would like to kill Sokar, which, like, me too. So
Like same. Get it.
Um, then we see that the Tok'ra, Aldwin has gotten the weapon ready, and Daniel gets his communication device back, and he's telling Teal'c what's going on, but then Aldwin sends the weapon down anyway because of course he does. And they're like, "What is
How
happening?"
dare you? Like, we're figuring it out. Why would you do this?
Yeah. They're like, "What is happening?" And Teal'c's like, "You have 12 minutes, and no more than 12 minutes to get out of there." Yay! I wrote Sam starts MacGyvering a plan. Dude, she's just like, all right, put this here and build this and do this, and I don't know.
She was officially taken over.
Yeah. Apophis goes to Sokar and asks if he can be the leader of Natu, and they like get into like a fight about it because Sokar's like, tell me your information. He's like, tell me I can be the leader, and he's like, tell me your information. He's like, here is the information. And he goes, that's some bullshit. You believed a lie. You're an idiot. I will kill you now.
And I was like, well, Sokar is smarter than Apophis, which is not great, but
No,
yeah.
because Apophis is not really dumb, but Sokar's a lot smarter. Um, then Aldwin is like, we need to leave. And Teal'c's like, or I could just lock you in the cargo bay and take care of this myself. Sokar tortures Apophis,
Mhm.
and Apophis then kills all of Sokar's guards and runs away. And the team finally does what they were trying to do in the first place at the end of last episode and gets the Ring of Light and beams up, but is intercepted by Teal'c's ship instead of going all the way to Sokar's ship. And they fly off just in time. Everything starts to explode, including Sokar's ship. The episode ends with Apophis turning his back on the explosion and clearly not dying.
Right. So like Sokar died, probably, right?
Yeah.
And then Apophis somehow like escaped. But I was like, how? If he's not on the ship with the rest of them, that was the only ring of light trick they had. Mm.
I don't know, but Apophis has survived. The only trivia for this episode is that Sokar will not come back. So
I mean, that's what happens when you die.
correct. Well,
But
Apophis has died
here,
like
Apophis
8 times
already
now.
dead, and they put him in this. I know,
Yeah. Yeah.
figured the logic out before we got there.
Right. But yeah, so that's the end of that. And who would you like to punch?
Oh my God, Apophis. I want to punch him so many times.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Val-
many times.
Valid. I I want to punch that first prime guy who like works for Apophis now because he's just like big and mean and dumb.
Punch a lot of people to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
That's
yeah, you should also punch him.
yeah.
Or like you could like, we could punch Sokar since he's not coming back, get that one good last one in.
See, but I feel like Stokar was like such a good villain. He didn't do anything stupid. He didn't actually hurt any of the people I care about on the show because he wasn't successful in any of his plans.
He
Like,
was a torturer and like he created
yeah,
himself and chose to be the devil. I mean,
he's not
like,
a good person. For sure, not a good person.
so for sure needs to be punched at least one more time. But like maybe not specifically this time, but like
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
like a second punch, and I'll punch him in my second punch.
Okay. Who is your MVP?
Silk. He like used logic. He did what he had to do. He made sure everybody got out of there when they needed to and got taken care of.
Yeah.
So
I
even though
mean,
we didn't see a ton of him in the past two episodes, he
yeah.
did it.
Well, I'm going to give my MVP to Marty. Um,
I was like, who's
because
Marty?
our good friend Marty, because Martoof did a lot of dumb things. He's kind of a little whiny bitch a lot of the time. But to be fair, if Apophis had gotten zero pieces of information, he would not have stopped.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
Not Marshall.
he took a single piece of information, hoping that it would then lead him to getting more information. And Martouf was intelligent enough to know that he needed to give Apophis something and it needed to not be true.
But it
So
needed to
for
be true enough that it wasn't an issue.
correct. So for that, I will give Martooth my MVP.
That's fair.
Now,
That's a good
do you
one.
have any predictions?
Oh my
Because
God.
we've done a lot of tying up loose ends things in the last couple episodes, but this one ended with a very clear like what's happening next kind of moment.
So everyone's dead except Jacob. He's the only one of our returning cast that's not our main four. It seems like that are not dead anymore. And Apophis, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, Apophis is immortal and will literally never die. We will have him in the 22nd episode of the 10th season.
Okay.
Um, I can't with him. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have something off the we have to have something off the wall next episode because like you said, everything's wrapped up now. Like, so I don't know. I don't think we're gonna just like go back to Apophis next episode. We've had a lot of him in the past couple episodes. So I feel like
That's
we're gonna take a break and like reevaluate our stance and figure out what to do next.
I think that that is a very
Maybe we'll
fair.
do a System Lord because it's like right after mid-season. So like
That's true.
maybe we need a new System
Um,
Lord. We just killed one.
Actually, I will tell you next week's episode is because you know how they had weird mid-season finales where because they started in June and then went to August and then like took a month off. Next episode is the break for the winter holidays. So
Like we
next
see
week,
it and then we have the holidays, or we have the holidays.
yes, no, we see it, and then so next week is the end of the second chunk of the season.
That would mean a new System Lord. I'm putting my money on
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah, so next week is the second mid-season finale.
Mhm.
So
It should have been this episode. So I don't know what they're doing next episode, but that's fine.
it's fine. We'll see. That's true. This episode would have been a great place to end it, but we will have to see how they do it.
Yeah.
Or if they just go back to our favorite thing that Stargate does and make no sense.
Make no sense at all in an episode that has no impact on anything that we'll never see these people again.
Well, I guess we will just find out. Um, if you have predictions about what wacky way we're going to end the mid-season finale or of whatever the show is called, my brain just like
Watching
stopped.
for the next, we've been watching for over a year now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. If you have any predictions, or you have an idea of how many people are going to survive the show, because according to Courtney, it will be no one but Jacob. Um,
They're gonna survive together until the last episode,
yeah,
and then they're gonna have a big Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Joel, and or Voldemort, Harry Potter, Joel, since we're in the Harry Potter train this episode, and kill each other at the same time, and then we're gonna end with nothing.
yeah. If you agree with Courtney or vehemently disagree with Courtney, send us an
Oh,
email.
you so vehemently disagree. You can loudly disagree.
Send us an email at deathandaliens@gmail.com, or you can follow us on social media at Death and Aliens. You can follow me anywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And you can follow me at CE Cloud 13.
And with that, we will see you for another wild ride on Thriller Thursday.
Yeah.
Bye.